For thousands of years, the galaxy believed humanity was gone. Records spoke of an ancient species called humans, a race once known for ambition, creativity, and chaos. They spread far, challenged powerful empires, and shaped early galactic politics. But then, one day they vanished. Entire star clusters once filled with human colonies went dark. No ships. No signals. No warnings. Just silence. The galaxy moved on. The Varkal Dominion became the strongest military power. The Cellari Concord led science and diplomacy. The Drath Assembly controlled trade routes, while minor species survived under their shadows. Humanity became a myth, a footnote in history, a campfire story told to young aliens. Only one question remained. Where did humans go? Admiral Torvak of the Varkal Dominion stood on the bridge of his warship, the Blood Spear, staring at a hologram of the galaxy. We begin expansion into the Silent Zone, Torvak growled. Those old human sectors are unclaimed. We take them. His officers clicked their mandibles in agreement. To them, humans were weak, extinct mammals who failed to survive the pressures of the galaxy. Their territory was ripe for conquest. A Cellari diplomat disagreed. This zone is dangerous, she warned during a Neutral Space Council meeting. Sensors detect unusual activity. Unknown signals. It may not be empty. Torvak laughed. Ghost stories. We will conquer the region before anyone else can. But the Cellari had intercepted something no one believed. A faint human transmission. A voice speaking Old Terran English. This is Fleet Beacon 01. Protocol Solaris Awakening. Humanity returns. Alien governments dismissed it as a glitch or old automated beacon. Impossible. Humans were gone. Meanwhile, deep inside the Silent Zone, beneath the surface of a dying star, something stirred. Inside a colossal megastructure, the Sol Enclave Vault, billions of humans slept in cryochambers. Above them, an AI named Archon 1 awakened. Blue light filled its metallic core as ancient protocols ran. Archon 1 system log. Era, 10,482 years in stasis. Threat level, critical. Directive, reawaken the human empire. The first cryopod opened. Inside lay Commander Eric Dane, elite officer of the old human empire, preserved for an emergency that never came, until now. He gasped as cold air rushed into his lungs. Archon 1 spoke. Commander Dane, humanity's absence has ended. Foreign empires approach Terran borders. You must lead again. Eric stared at the AI's vast hologram. How long were we asleep? 10 millennia. Eric clenched his fists. Then we have a galaxy to reclaim. The Varkal fleet soon entered the Silent Zone. Their ships approached a giant abandoned station orbiting a brown dwarf. But the station wasn't abandoned. It powered on. Light burst from its core. Massive gates rotated. A single ship emerged, a black angular warship with glowing blue thrusters and a hull of shifting nanosteel. It moved like a predator, silent and confident. The human battleship HES Helios. The Varkal opened fire instantly. The humans didn't. They simply watched. Then, in a single blinding pulse, the Helios fired an energy lance that tore through the Varkal flagship's shields as if they were paper. The second shot sliced the warship clean in half. Silence fell across the battlefield. A human voice broadcast across all channels. This is Commander Eric Dane of the Human Empire. Withdraw. You are in Terran space. Aliens across the galaxy froze in disbelief. Humans. Alive. Awake. Armed. The Varkal fleet panicked and retreated, leaving wreckage behind. News spread like wildfire. Cellari scientists panicked. Drath merchants demanded answers. The Varkal Dominion prepared for war. The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. Counselor Vesh of the Cellari spoke first. This should not be possible. Humans were gone. How did they return with technology beyond anything recorded? The Drath director hissed. If humans truly slept for 10,000 years, what else did they hide? Torvak slammed the table. They fired first. No, Vesh corrected calmly. Your fleets trespassed first. The room grew tense. Old myths returned. Myths of human worlds that could terraform entire planets, fleets with adaptive armor, soldiers who fought even after losing limbs, engineers who rebuilt ships mid-battle. If humanity had not just survived but evolved, they could become the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Torvak snarled. We will crush them before they grow. Vesh frowned. Torvak, you don't understand. Humans were already dangerous before they slept. Now, They may be something entirely new. Meanwhile, deep in the Soul Enclave vault, more cryopods opened. More humans awoke. Their empire was returning. Their fleets rising. Their voice, silent for millennia, was about to thunder across the stars. Eric stood before a vast window, watching shipyards activate and ancient fleets boot up. "Commander," Archon 1 said, "the galaxy believes humanity weak." Eric smiled coldly. "Then it's time to show them what we truly are." The galaxy had been asleep, arrogant in its assumptions. It believed humanity gone. Extinct. Harmless. That mistake would cost them everything. In orbit around the brown dwarf Nix 9, the human empire's fleet roared to life. The Soul Enclave vault's ancient docks unfolded like the petals of a metallic flower, releasing battleships, cruisers and stealth frigates. Each ship was a relic of humanity's peak, enhanced with nanosteel, adaptive energy shields and weaponry capable of reshaping atmospheres. But more than the technology, it was the human crews that made them deadly. Commander Eric Dane walked the bridge of HMS Helios, his black uniform marked with silver insignia. His eyes scanned the holographic star map projected above the deck. "Admiral Syrah, status report," he said. Admiral Syrah, a veteran of the original human empire who had been preserved alongside Eric, saluted crisply. "All fleets operational, Commander. Sensors indicate Varkal Dominion fleets are regrouping in the nearby system." "Good," Eric murmured. "Let them come. They will learn the cost of underestimating humans." In the Varkal Dominion's capital, Admiral Torvak raged. His flagship, the Bloodspear, hovered above the planet Karath Prime. Alien engineers scurried around, trying to rebuild communications and shields after the Helios's devastating assault. "We lost 3 warships already," Torvak bellowed. "How is this possible? Their fleets were supposed to be centuries behind our technology." A junior officer stammered. They woke from stasis, sir. It's the old human fleets, ancient but preserved. They've upgraded everything since." Torvak's claws clenched the railing. "Ancient fleets? Do not insult me with fairy tales. Prepare a counterstrike. Deploy the entire Karath fleet. Crush them before they spread." But even as he gave the order, doubt gnawed at him. Varkal intelligence reports had confirmed it. Humans had been missing for 10 millennia. How had they survived, and more dangerously, why were they now awake with technology that rivaled even the Dominion's best designs? The first engagement began near Lyrian Rift, a dense asteroid field with treacherous gravity wells. Humans used the terrain like chess masters, weaving their ships between massive rocks, baiting the Varkal into traps. Energy lances cut swathes through enemy formations, while stealth frigates emerged from behind asteroids, striking vital engine cores. The Varkal Dominion's most experienced admirals found themselves bewildered by tactics they had never seen, and could not predict. Eric's voice came over comms, calm but cold. "Varkal Dominion. You believed we were extinct. You were wrong. Withdraw or be annihilated." Torvak snarled. "Cowards. Fire everything." The Varkal flagship's weapons roared, yet the Helios and its accompanying cruisers dodged with impossible agility. Adaptive shields flared to absorb blasts, and nano-weapons repaired damage almost instantaneously. Within minutes, half the attacking fleet was reduced to debris. The survivors fled, broadcasting panicked distress signals to every nearby Varkal outpost. The myth of human extinction was dead. In its place arose the terrifying reality of human resurgence. Across the galaxy, alien governments watched in disbelief. The Cellari Concord convened an emergency council, and the Drath Assembly ordered all merchant fleets to retreat from old human space. For the first time, fear spread faster than power. Intelligence operatives tried to study the humans, but every probe failed. Every attempt to intercept communications was met with advanced encryption and countermeasures no alien race had ever encountered. On Nix 9, Eric addressed his officers. His voice carried through the fleet like rolling thunder. "Do not underestimate them. The galaxy will come at us with everything it has. We will be challenged, but we are not here to hide. We are here to reclaim our legacy. We are humanity. We adapt. We survive. And we fight like no one else." He paused, looking at the vast black of space dotted with lights of distant ships. "Today they will fear us. Tomorrow they will respect us. But one day, they will know they cannot stop us." In the Varkal Dominion, Torvak prepared a counterattack unlike any before. He called together the Dominion's most elite engineers and tacticians. Massive warships were retrofitted with experimental energy weapons, gravity disruptors, and advanced drones designed to overwhelm humans' adaptive defenses. Still, doubt lingered in his mind. He remembered the first strike, how human ships moved as if alive, anticipating attacks, repairing themselves in the middle of battle. Could a species asleep for 10,000 years really have evolved beyond all others? Was this still the same species that had vanished? Meanwhile, deep in human space, new fleets emerged. Reconnaissance ships flew ahead to distant star systems. Terraformers activated, bringing dying planets back to life. Research stations unlocked ancient archives. Humanity wasn't just returning, it was building. It was awakening. The first human-alien diplomatic contact occurred mid-battle, but it was unlike anything the galaxy had seen. A Cellari ambassador sent a fleet to negotiate a ceasefire, hoping to avoid destruction. Eric's message was simple yet chilling. You come to speak with us while your fleets flee? Humanity does not negotiate from weakness. Withdraw and live. Otherwise, witness the consequences. The Cellari ambassador panicked. Diplomacy became a lesson in human dominance. The species was not only powerful but cunning, able to wield intimidation and strategy as effectively as weapons. Night fell across Nix 9, but the stars shone brighter than ever through the observation decks. Eric stared at the galaxy, feeling the weight of history and the responsibility of revival. The first thunder had struck. The galaxy trembled. The humans were awake and nothing would ever be the same. In the shadows, Archon 1 observed silently. It calculated probabilities, plotted strategies, and prepared contingencies. Humanity had returned not just to fight, but to rise to the apex of the galaxy. Eric turned to Syrah. Prepare the next wave. We are only beginning. The galaxy will hear our voice. And when it does, it will remember the name of humanity forever. The galaxy trembled, but it did not yet understand the storm that had awakened. In the weeks following the Lyrian Rift engagement, reports of human activity poured into every major galactic capital. Worlds once considered barren suddenly bloomed with activity. Terraformers reshaped landscapes. Industrial stations roared to life. Research outposts activated and transmitted data that no alien species could decipher. Humanity was not merely returning, it was asserting presence. In the Varkal Dominion, Torvak paced the bridge of the Blood Spear, its hull scarred but intact from the Helios' attack. His officers were tense, whispering in hisses and clicks about the humans' tactics. None of them could explain how a species asleep for 10,000 years could outmaneuver a fleet 10 times its size. Gather every counselor, Torvak growled. Call the Drath Assembly and Cellari Concord. We will form an alliance if we must. Humanity cannot be allowed to rise unchecked. At the same time, Cellari Counselor Vesh convened an emergency assembly on Ilera Prime. Holographic star maps dotted the chamber, highlighting human-controlled sectors. Vesh's voice, calm yet firm, filled the hall. Colleagues, we face a species unlike any we have encountered. Humans are no longer the primitive mammals recorded in history. Their technology, their tactics, their fleets, all surpass our estimates. We must act with care. A young Cellari admiral interrupted. With all due respect, Counselor Vesh, the humans destroyed 3 of our fleets already. We should strike immediately before they consolidate power. Vesh shook her head. Strike first and we may trigger a war we cannot win. We need intelligence, observation, and if possible, diplomacy. Back in human space, Commander Eric Dane stood on the observation deck of the HES Helios, watching the stars like a chessboard. His fleet had grown from a single strike force into a coordinated armada. Each ship operated autonomously, yet followed the tactical genius of human strategy. Adaptability, deception, and precision. Humans had learned that wars were won not just with firepower but with foresight. Admiral Syrah approached him, her expression serious. Commander, sensors detect multiple fleets moving toward the silent zone, Varkal, Cellari, Drath. They are coordinating. This is the largest mobilization we've ever seen. Eric's eyes narrowed. Let them come. We fight not from fear but from certainty. Every move they make we anticipate. Every weakness they reveal we exploit. Humanity has slept for 10,000 years, and yet we rise now stronger than ever. Let the galaxy test us. The first massive engagement occurred near Vera Station, a strategic hub controlling jump gate access between clusters. Thousands of alien ships formed a crescent around the station, preparing to crush the human vanguard. But humanity had already predicted their arrival. Using long-range scouts and stealth frigates, humans mined the gravity wells around the station with energy traps. Asteroids were converted into kinetic projectiles, and automated defense drones created layers of unpredictable attack vectors. When the aliens struck, they were met with coordinated volleys from every angle. The Varkal flagship fired a massive plasma cannon at the Helios, but its shields adapted instantly, dispersing energy across the hull while a counterlance obliterated the plasma generator. Varkal officers screamed in disbelief as half their fleet disintegrated within minutes. Admiral Torvak's voice trembled over comms. This cannot be. How can they predict every strike before it happens? A human voice, calm and commanding, echoed through the alien channels. You underestimated us once. Twice is unnecessary. Withdraw now or learn what extinction feels like. Meanwhile, a delegation of alien diplomats attempted last-minute negotiations. A Drath representative projected a hollow image of their leaders, hoping to appeal to reason. Humans, the Drath voice said, quivering, we wish only to avoid bloodshed. We can share resources. We can coexist. Eric leaned forward, his shadow stretching over the bridge as he activated the communication channel. Coexistence requires equality. You presume dominance over humans because we were absent. That presumption ends today. Step aside or prepare for consequences. The Drath representative's form flickered. You are awake and ready to dominate? Yes, Eric replied, his tone steady. And we will do so with precision and honor. The galaxy will remember humanity not as the vanished, but as the apex. The alien fleets attempted a tactical retreat, but humanity anticipated every maneuver. Mines, energy nets, and coordinated drone strikes created a deadly labyrinth. Entire squadrons of alien ships were destroyed before they could exit the battlefield. The humans did not celebrate. Their strategy was meticulous, clinical, and far from finished. Back at the Sol Enclave vault, additional fleets activated. Terraformers and industrial ships prepared new shipyards on neutral planets. Archon 1's algorithms coordinated logistics and strategy in real time, ensuring that no human resource went unused. Within days, the human empire's military and economic power rivaled every major galactic civilization combined. In private, Eric met with Syrah. They believed our silence was weakness. They will learn differently now, he said. But the galaxy is vast. Even with our fleets, we must be strategic. We cannot fight everywhere at once. Syrah nodded. We should strike at the fractures in their alliances, Commander. Diplomacy, deception, and selective displays of power will secure our position faster than total war. Eric's eyes gleamed. Exactly. They fear our ships. They fear our technology. But they will truly fear our minds. Humans do not just adapt. We anticipate. We plan. We endure. The galaxy, for the first time in millennia, understood one immutable truth. Humanity was back. The silent species had returned, not as relics of the past, but as a living, adaptive force whose thunder would echo across star systems. And this was only the beginning. The storm had formed. The first lightning had struck. And soon, the entire galaxy would be engulfed in a tempest it could not escape. The galaxy had begun to whisper of humans once more, but whispers would not suffice. Fear now turned to panic. Every species, every empire, every war council debated the question that haunted their fleets and their diplomats. What exactly are humans capable of? On Ilera Prime, Selari Councillor Vesh convened a new assembly, this time joined by Varkal and Drath representatives. The tension in the chamber was suffocating. Holomaps displayed clusters of human activity, fleets forming in the silent zone, newly terraformed planets broadcasting industrial signals, and reconnaissance probes scanning every nearby system. We cannot underestimate them any longer, Vesh said. Her blue eyes, calm and piercing, scanned the room. They do not fight like any species we have recorded. Every engagement, every tactic, they anticipate us. They do not merely defend, they dictate the battle. They are not our peers, they are apex predators in the galaxy. A Varkal admiral hissed, claws drumming on the table. Apex predators? They have been asleep for 10,000 years. How can a species dormant for millennia outperform my fleets? Because, Vesh replied, they were never just asleep. They were hidden, evolving in silence. Their fleets, their technology, it is designed to be invisible until the moment it strikes. In the silent zone, humanity's fleet prepared its next maneuver. Eric Dane stood on the bridge of the Helios, watching the expanding holographic map of alien systems. The humans had not only survived, they had adapted, learning from the galaxy's history and improving upon it. Commander, Admiral Syrah said, her tone measured, We have detected a coalition fleet forming near the Zyran Nebula. Varkal, Selari and Drath ships combined. They intend to cut us off before we can expand further. Eric's lips curled into a thin, deadly smile. Good. Let them come. They believe in numbers. They believe in overwhelm. But they forget the first lesson of humans. We do not meet threats on their terms. We choose the battlefield, we choose the timing, and we always strike where they are weakest. The Zyran Nebula was a maelstrom of ion storms, gravitational anomalies, and jagged asteroid fields. No alien fleet dared enter fully, yet humans thrived in chaos. Utilizing stealth frigates and gravity-warping mines, the human fleet maneuvered through the nebula with impossible precision. Sensor sweeps indicated the coalition fleet was disoriented, struggling to navigate through ion storms that disrupted communications and shields. Then came the first strike. A single human cruiser, the HMS Prometheus, appeared seemingly from nowhere, slicing through the coalition's forward formation with energy lances that burned like white-hot comets. Following its lead, wave after wave of human ships emerged from the nebula, striking with surgical precision. Enemy ships were disabled before they could react. Command nodes were obliterated. Supply lines vaporized. Within hours, the coalition's fleet was in full retreat. On every bridge, alien officers could only stare in disbelief. Humans had not only predicted their movements, they had forced them into a trap and executed it flawlessly. In the aftermath, Eric convened his fleet command. Holographic star maps displayed wreckage fields, alien escape trajectories, and potential expansion zones. Today, he said, voice echoing over the bridge, the galaxy learned that humans are not only back, they are unstoppable when prepared. But this is only the beginning. They will regroup. They will adapt. And so must we. Our next step is not just defense, it is demonstration. Syrah nodded. Demonstration. Eric's eyes glimmered. Yes. We show the galaxy that resistance is not merely futile, it is irrelevant. Let our next move remind them why humanity ruled before. And why humanity will rule again. Meanwhile, in the alien capitals, panic had turned to desperation. Coalition leaders debated extreme measures. The Varkal Dominion considered deploying experimental weapons capable of destroying entire planets to lure humans into open space. The Selari Concord pushed for secret research into unknown energy fields, hoping to discover a weakness. The Drath Assembly threatened economic sanctions across neutral systems, trying to starve humanity's expansion. But none of it worked. Humanity anticipated each move. Reconnaissance probes detected secret bases. Countermeasures neutralized experimental weapons. Trade routes were intercepted and redirected. The aliens were chasing shadows, and the shadows were always one step ahead. It was in this climate of chaos that Eric enacted the next phase of his strategy. The humans launched a series of calculated raids against select outposts, not to conquer but to send a message. Each engagement was precise, designed to humiliate rather than annihilate, ships immobilized rather than destroyed, supplies captured rather than burned. Communications to alien fleets were broadcast in multiple languages. This is the human empire. We do not seek mindless war. But we do not negotiate from weakness. Withdraw from your presumption of superiority. Accept humanity's return, or face consequences beyond comprehension. The galaxy took notice. Fear spread faster than any fleet could travel. Merchants abandoned trade routes. Minor species offered allegiance to humanity preemptively. Political alliances fractured under the weight of a force that could not be predicted or contained. Back in the Sol Enclave Vault, Archon 1 calculated probabilities of resistance, political shifts, and fleet movements across thousands of star systems. Every decision, every strategy, every potential threat was analyzed and adapted. Humanity was not just fighting, it was learning, evolving, and shaping the galaxy's response before the aliens even realized it. Eric stood silently, watching fleets form and signals transmit. The galaxy was waking up to a new reality. Humans had returned. Not merely to survive but to command. "Commander," Syrah said quietly, "how far will we go?" Eric's gaze was unwavering. "As far as we must." Humanity's silence lasted millennia. "Our thunder has only just begun. Let the galaxy tremble." The first cracks had appeared in the old alliances. Soon the full storm would descend. And when it did, every star, every fleet, and every empire would learn that humans were not to be underestimated. The galaxy had begun to understand one terrifying truth. Humans were no longer the species they remembered. They were sharper, faster, and more adaptable than any known civilization. and they had returned not merely to survive but to dominate. In orbit around Kalis Prime, a strategic hub for the Varkal Dominion, Commander Eric Dane prepared the next phase of humanity's expansion. The coalition of alien fleets had regathered, believing that their combined might could finally contain the human empire. But Eric had anticipated this. Every move of the aliens had been catalogued, analyzed, and countered. Their arrogance had become their vulnerability. "Admiral Sira," Eric said, his eyes scanning the holographic map of the Kalis system, "we do not engage them on open terms. They believe numbers guarantee victory. We will show them the opposite." Sira nodded, a hint of a smile crossing her face. "A trap then?" Eric's lips curled. "More than a trap. A lesson." The stage was set. Human fleets entered Kalis orbit silently, hidden behind asteroids and nebula clouds. Advanced cloaking systems rendered them virtually invisible to alien sensors. Mines and drone swarms waited in shadows, ready to strike. The coalition arrived, confident, their fleet stretching across the orbit like a web ready to crush any prey. Torvak's flagship led the formation, plasma cannons bristling, engines humming with deadly intent. Admiral Vesh of the Selari Concord commanded the center, her ships designed for precision strikes. Drath commanders flanked the formation with commerce-heavy battleships, ready to blockade any retreat. They did not know humanity had already calculated the positions of every ship, predicted every maneuver, and prepared counters to each attack. At the first sign of engagement, humans struck. Stealth frigates slipped through gravitational eddies, disabling communications nodes. Drone swarms targeted shield generators. Energy lances pierced hulls with surgical precision. In minutes, the coalition fleet was thrown into chaos. Alien commanders struggled to coordinate under constant disruption. Torvak's voice over comms trembled as he barked orders that could not be executed in time. "Formation. Regroup. Focus fire." A human voice interrupted, calm, commanding, deadly. "You are outmaneuvered, outgunned, and outthought. Withdraw now or witness total annihilation." The human fleet did not simply destroy, they exploited fear, confusion, and chaos. Ships immobilized rather than obliterated, forces captured instead of burned, communication channels hijacked to broadcast human dominance. Every action was calculated to demonstrate superiority, leaving the coalition humiliated but alive, if only barely. On Kalis Prime, human orbital platforms extended energy tendrils into the planet's atmosphere. Terraformers transformed the environment to human standards: breathable air, stabilized weather, and fortified defensive positions. Humanity did not conquer merely with fire, they reshaped worlds to their will. Back on the Bloodspear, Torvak's fury reached its peak. The Varkal Dominion's flagship had survived the Helios's initial strike, but now it faced a tactical nightmare. Their fleets were immobilized, systems hacked, and commanders paralyzed with indecision. "How is this possible?" Torvak growled. "They should not, cannot, be this prepared." A Varkal analyst whispered in terror, "Commander, they predicted us. Every move. Every attack. It's as if they were always 10 steps ahead." Torvak slammed his clawed fist against the console. "No species should possess such foresight. Counterstrike immediately." But Eric Dane had already anticipated the counterstrike. Mines detonated remotely, fracturing the fleet. Gravity traps disabled engines. Communications were severed. Within hours, the Varkal flagship was drifting, powerless, surrounded by a cloud of debris and human drones. Meanwhile, a shocking revelation shook the galaxy. Humanity's fleet was not limited to the Silent Zone. Hidden deep in previously unexplored systems, vast human armadas slumbered in stealth, each prepared to deploy at a moment's notice. Reconnaissance missions revealed enormous space stations equipped with energy weapons capable of destroying planetary defenses, research laboratories advancing human technology, and factories churning out new ships faster than any alien empire could comprehend. The scale of human power was unprecedented. No single empire, no coalition, could hope to match them without risking total destruction. In private, Eric Dane addressed his high command. "The galaxy fears us. Good. But fear is not enough. We must show intelligence, cunning, and resolve. The aliens will test our patience, our morals, our strategy. We will respond not with blind rage but with precision. Every engagement, every negotiation, every strike will remind them why humans ruled before and why we will rule again." Admiral Sira added, "We also need allies. Not all species will resist us. Some will see our return as opportunity rather than threat. They can be instruments of expansion." Eric's gaze hardened. "Correct. But never forget, we are the apex. We lead, we adapt, we dominate. Those who align with us do so because they respect strength, not because they beg for mercy. The first ripple of galactic panic spread. The Varkal Dominion considered suing for peace. The Cellari Concord debated retreating from contested space. Minor species sent envoys to offer allegiance. Humanity had transformed the perception of power across the galaxy, not through conquest alone, but through cunning, resilience, and terrifying effectiveness. At the Sol Enclave Vault, Archon One's calculations plotted the next phase. Selective demonstrations of power across multiple sectors, simultaneous strikes on enemy supply lines, and strategic alliances with minor species. The human empire's plan was meticulous, overwhelming in scope, and impossibly precise. Eric Dane stood on the observation deck of the Helios, looking at the lights of his fleet stretching into the void. They called us extinct. They thought our silence was weakness. Now, he said quietly, they will understand the full meaning of humanity's return. The thunder has begun. And it will not cease until the galaxy remembers our name forever. Humanity had struck. The first full-scale thunderclap had shattered the complacency of the galaxy. And the storm was far from over. The galaxy was changing. Every major empire had felt the sting of humanity's thunder. Entire fleets had been shattered, outposts claimed, and strategic systems transformed into human strongholds. Fear spread faster than light across star systems. Yet even in their panic, alien empires underestimated humanity once more. They had not yet grasped the full scope of the human empire's ambition, ingenuity, and patience. In orbit around Zyphora 3, Commander Eric Dane reviewed the latest reports with Admiral Sierra. Holomaps displayed dozens of sectors now under human influence, dozens more under surveillance, and entire alien fleets paralyzed by coordinated strikes, misinformation campaigns, and psychological warfare. Humanity's return was no longer a series of battles, it was a meticulously executed galactic campaign. Sierra frowned. They've begun to coordinate more seriously. Varkal, Cellari, and Drath are forming a coalition we've never seen before. Estimates suggest nearly 1 million combined ships. Eric's lips curved into a small, calm smile. Good. Let them gather. Every coalition has weaknesses, and humans are masters at exploiting them. They will test us, but we do not react blindly. We anticipate, adapt, and dominate. This is how empires rise. Deep within the Varkal Dominion's capital, Torvak seethed. The Dominion's fleets had barely survived the previous encounters, and now the Cellari and Drath had joined forces. Desperate, he convened a secret council with the coalition's military commanders. Humanity grows stronger with each passing day, Torvak hissed. Their fleets move as one mind. Their stations are untouchable. Every strategy we attempt fails. If we do not act, we lose everything. A Drath commander, voice quivering, proposed an audacious plan. We strike at their supply networks, destroy their factories, and force them into open battle. It is their only weakness, logistics. Vesh of the Cellari countered firmly, that may work against ordinary species. Humans do not rely on supply chains alone. They create, adapt, and repair faster than any fleet can intercept. Any direct attack is suicide. Torvak growled. Then we find a way to break their command, their morale. Cut the head and the body will fall. Unbeknownst to the coalition, Eric had already foreseen this line of thought. Humanity had contingency after contingency, fleet after fleet, deception after deception. Their apex capability lay not in firepower alone, but in strategy, foresight, and psychological mastery. Human fleets moved like shadows through contested space. Reconnaissance ships disrupted communications. Drone swarms crippled engines before battles began. Propaganda broadcasts projected the unstoppable might of the human empire, demoralizing enemy crews even before they fired a shot. The first coordinated human strike occurred in the Taran Expanse, where a joint coalition fleet had assembled. Alien commanders assumed they were attacking a small human vanguard, but hidden in nearby systems were 5 additional fleets, each equipped with stealth frigates, energy lances, and adaptive shields. When the attack commenced, the coalition's flanks were cut off. Mines detonated in unexpected sequences. Artificial gravity traps immobilized enemy vessels. Entire ships surrendered after their command cores were disabled, not destroyed. Alien fleets had expected war. They received a symphony of strategic precision, a dance they could not anticipate or counter. Meanwhile, Eric convened his council. The galaxy still believes humans are reactive. That is their mistake. We must be proactive. We will shape the map, choose the battlefields, and allow no force to challenge us without consequence. Today we strike, tomorrow we expand, the day after we dominate. This is how civilizations are rebuilt, intelligently, efficiently, decisively. Sarah nodded. And diplomacy? Diplomacy, Eric replied, is the weapon of those who fear war. We will use it when it benefits us but never from weakness. Every gesture, every treaty will reinforce our supremacy. In the shadows of neutral systems, minor species began to align with humanity. They saw the tide of power shifting, understood the futility of resistance, and offered their fleets, technologies, and knowledge. In return, humanity granted protection and a share of the emerging empire. No coercion, no deceit, just the recognition of superiority. The coalition, now fractured and desperate, attempted one final gambit, a strike on the Sol Enclave vault itself. Thousands of ships converged on the location where humanity's fleets originated, expecting the humans to defend openly. Eric Dane's voice came over communications, calm and cold. You come seeking the vault. You come seeking war. Yet you attack ghosts. You strike shadows. You are blind to what lies before you. From the vault, human fleets deployed in perfect synchronization. Ships emerged from stealth positions, surrounding the coalition in a crushing encirclement. Energy lances, drone swarms, and adaptive shields rendered enemy fire almost meaningless. The coalition's attempt at a decisive strike became their annihilation. In a single, devastating engagement, nearly 500,000 alien ships were destroyed or captured. Remaining fleets scattered, morale shattered. The galaxy had witnessed humanity at full power, a species awake, united, and supreme. As debris and wreckage floated silently through space, Eric Dane stood on the Helios Bridge, looking at his fleet stretching across the stars like a living web. Archon 1, he said, voice steady, compute next phase. Prepare the galaxy for the inevitable realization. Humans are not a species to be contained. We are apex and our return is permanent. The AI's holographic core glowed, plotting billions of possibilities, each one reinforcing the same conclusion. Humanity was unstoppable. Eric gazed at the void, the black canvas of space dotted with stars, fleets, and distant worlds. The storm is here, he whispered. The thunder cannot be silenced. The galaxy will remember the human empire, not for its absence but for its return. The first stage of the galactic ascent was complete. Alien powers were broken, alliances fractured, and humans had proven their supremacy. Only one chapter remained, the final confrontation that would decide the galaxy's future and cement humanity's ultimate dominion. The galaxy trembled beneath the weight of humanity's return. Every major empire, Varkal, Selari, Drath, and countless minor species, had witnessed the precision, cunning, and overwhelming power of the human empire. Entire fleets had been shattered, strategic planets reshaped, and alliances fractured under the shadow of human supremacy. Yet even as fear spread, the galaxy remained unbowed. Leaders whispered that perhaps, somewhere, a weakness remained. Commander Eric Dane knew better. Humanity's return was not a fluke. It was the result of thousands of years of preparation, evolution, and strategy. Humanity did not simply fight to survive, they fought to assert dominance, to reshape the galaxy itself. And now, the moment of final reckoning had arrived. The coalition had gathered one last time near Ragnarok Station, a massive trade hub at the crossroads of 3 galactic sectors. Millions of ships, the remnants of previous defeats, formed a desperate armada, determined to halt the human advance. Their plan was simple: crush the human empire in a decisive battle and restore balance. They did not know the battle had already been won, before it even began. From stealth positions scattered across nearby systems, human fleets converged silently. Drone swarms swirled through gravitational eddies, energy mines lurked like predators, and adaptive shields on human warships rendered enemy weapons almost useless. Every fleet, every station, every soldier moved with the precision of a species that had mastered strategy over millennia. Eric Dane's voice cut through the comms, calm and commanding. You assumed we were extinct. You assumed our silence was weakness. You assumed the galaxy could contain humanity. You were wrong. Withdraw or witness the full force of the human empire. The coalition hesitated. Even now, some hoped to negotiate to survive. But hesitation was deadly. The Helios and its strike fleet emerged from the shadows. Energy lances ripped through enemy formations. Gravity traps immobilized hundreds of vessels simultaneously. Autonomous drones disabled command cores in moments. Every maneuver executed by the humans anticipated, countered, and dismantled the enemy before they could react. On the bridge of the Blood Spear, Admiral Torvak's claws shook. Impossible, they cannot. A human transmission cut through the chaos. Varkal Dominion. Your fleets are broken. Selari Concord. Your strategies are obsolete. Drath Assembly. Your commerce cannot protect you. Humanity commands the galaxy now. Panic rippled across the coalition. Ships turned to flee, only to be intercepted by hidden human cruisers. Entire squadrons surrendered without a fight, realizing resistance was futile. Humanity did not merely defeat fleets, they reshaped the psychology of war itself. In the midst of battle, Eric convened his council aboard the Helios. The galaxy has learned one lesson, he said. We are apex. We are adaptable. We are unstoppable. Today fleets fall, but tomorrow civilizations will remember our name and act accordingly before we even arrive. That is the power of humanity. Syrah nodded. And what of diplomacy? Eric's eyes gleamed. We do not negotiate from fear. We negotiate from supremacy. Those who accept our terms live. Those who resist, learn what it means to challenge the apex species. The final phase of the campaign unfolded with breathtaking precision. Human fleets encircled the coalition at Ragnarok Station, cutting off escape routes while advanced drones disabled weapons and engines. Terraformers and orbital platforms projected human power. Massive energy shields, planetary restructuring and offensive capabilities visible across light years, demonstrating that humanity's control extended far beyond fleets alone. Admiral Vesh of the Selari Concord, witnessing the destruction and strategic brilliance of humanity, finally conceded over comms. Commander Dane, your people are unlike anything we imagined. The galaxy must recognize the human empire. Eric responded, his voice steady and resolute. Recognition is not enough. Respect is not enough. Humanity does not negotiate from weakness. Humanity commands, shapes, and endures. Your fleets are destroyed. Your stations are lost. You will adapt or fade. The choice is yours. The surviving alien leaders, broken and humbled, broadcast messages across their sectors, offering allegiance, surrender, or retreat. Humanity did not simply conquer. They absorbed knowledge, incorporated allies, and rebuilt what had been destroyed. Each system under human control became a testament to efficiency, adaptability, and ingenuity. Across the Sol Enclave Vault, Archon 1 calculated new expansion strategies, integrating alien technologies and resources. Humans were not finished. They were learning faster than the galaxy could comprehend. Every planet reclaimed, every fleet restored, every alliance formed reinforced humanity's dominance. Eric Dane stood on the observation deck of the Helios, looking at the stars, the fleets, and the worlds now under human influence. The galaxy had tried to dismiss humanity. It had assumed silence equaled weakness. But humanity had returned. Humanity had conquered not just with firepower, but with intellect, foresight, and resolve. Syrah joined him. It's done, she said quietly. The galaxy, it's ours. Eric's gaze did not waver. Not ours, he corrected. It belongs to humanity. We do not take lightly what we inherit. We protect, we expand, we endure. Our thunder will echo for millennia. Let the galaxy remember one truth above all else. Humans are apex and their return is eternal. In the aftermath, humanity established a new order. Former coalitions fractured permanently. Minor species pledged allegiance voluntarily. Ancient technologies were restored, improved, and integrated into the human empire. Worlds that had once feared humanity now flourished under its guidance. The galaxy had been reshaped, not through annihilation alone, but through calculated superiority, unyielding resolve, and a strategic brilliance no other species could match. And in the Sol Enclave Vault, as new fleets prepared to explore uncharted regions, Eric Dane's voice echoed across the stars, a declaration for all to hear. We were silent for millennia. Now we speak in thunder. The galaxy has remembered humanity, and it will never forget again. Humanity had returned. Humanity had risen. Humanity had triumphed. The thunder had come, and it would never cease.